Hello, welcome to my complete Fusion guide for beginners. This guide is split into multiple episodes and is targeted to those people who are new to DaVinci Resolve. Maybe they've switched from Premiere Pro or they're completely new to video editing. And I will show episode by episode some notes of the Fusion tab so you can start creating your own Fusion compositions. Today we're going to start with the background node, so let's jump right into it. First, I will go to Effects and drag on a Fusion composition into our timeline. And I've already prepared a solid color as a background, but this is just for demonstration purposes. Okay, so let's click on the Fusion tab and drag in our background node. Now let's connect it to the media out, and nothing happened. That's because the background node has a default value on black. And if you don't have a background node, the background is black too. The first thing we can change is the color under the background tab. So you can use these sliders to change your color, or you can use this field and click in it and change this color here. There's also a pipette if you want to pick a color from an image. Then you can see there's this alpha slider which makes the background transparent if we drag it down. But as you can see, it is not fully transparent, and if we go back to our edit page, you can see this background color is blue, and if we mix it with our new Fusion composition, it will mix the colors. So if we want to have a completely transparent background, we need to reset all these sliders all the way to 0. Now our background is completely transparent. The next thing we will do is inspect this type option. If you click on this drop-down menu, there are 5 options to create a background. We have started with the solid color, and it's just all the way over the image the same color. We can click on horizontal and it will create a gradient. And this gradient can be influenced by 2 colors. One on the left and one on the right. You can change the colors like before, and it will look like this. Now there is another option called vertical, which is exactly the same, but the colors are on top and at the bottom. And now it gets interesting because there's a 4-corner option where we have 4 colors for each corner. And let's create a red corner and like this. Now you can see you have all these 4 colors in your corners. And the last option, I use this one the most, is a gradient. And you can change the handles. So you can click and hold to drag these handles around, and you can change them as you like. And if you want to change the color, you can see there's only one color option. You have to select the side which you want to change the color from and choose the color here. For example, like this. And now, if you want to add a color, for example in the middle, you can just click with your mouse into this gradient and maybe add a, let's do a green. Doesn't look really good, but okay. And you can still drag around your handles. Now you can see there's another drop-down menu which describes the gradient type, As default, it is linear selected. So let's click on reflect. And if you take the left handle, drag it a little bit to the middle, you can see it is mirrored. So you can create some interesting combinations. Now let's select the next one, which is square. Let's drag this into the middle again. And it does as it says, it creates a square. Then there's a cross, which creates a cross. Radial, which creates a circle. I use this a lot. And there is angle, which is quite interesting because the colors are mapped around this point in the middle, and at the end there's a hard cut. Let's change it back to radial because I want to show you something. Let's make it a little bit smaller, and now you go to this gradient box because you can influence how much of the color is visible by dragging these sliders. Let's increase the green quite far to the red, and it creates a hard cut. There's no soft edge. And we can do the same for the blue to make it bigger. Now, if you look down here, there are options like repeat, and you can click on repeat, and if we zoom out or make our gradient smaller, you can see it just does the same thing again and again. And let's introduce our red again, because if you change it to ping pong, it's similar but not the same. It repeats this and then it uses the opposite gradient, puts it behind it, and then it changes it again and again and again. Now let's create a hard cut again. Let's zoom in quite a bit. Here's this option subpixel, and as default it is at 1x1, and you can see this edge isn't as soft as you like, so let's change it to 5x5 and it gets smoothed out. And that's already the first few things for this side. And if we navigate from the color tab of the background to the image tab, there are another few options I will show you in this video. You can see there's a width and a height slider. If you try to change it, it doesn't change anything. You can't change the value. That's because this auto resolution is checked. If you uncheck it, you can change it. What this auto resolution does is it always creates the Fusion page at a resolution your timeline is at. And if you want to change it, you have to uncheck it. And now we can, for example, decrease the width. And that's the reason I created the background in our edit page, because now you can see our Fusion composition isn't all over our image. It is only this specific height and width. And that's it for this first episode. These are all the most important options for our background node, and I will see you in the next one.